gallbladders. And, it's like a lot of folks wouldn't like stop Dr. Mary in the hallway and ask him a whole big bunch of gallbladder questions. But if you got a chance to hear him speak live on Tuesday, need to do it. 7:08 at WCLU. And let's see, it's 60 degrees. I need to jump in here and tell you that we are patting on the back today by special request Ernie Runyon. That's right, it's Ernie Runyon Day here on the radio. And I think Ernie actually has a birthday on Sunday. And so that's why that he was requested. He's a really good fella. And I hope you have the opportunity to pat him on the back and tell him he's good as gold from his friends here at WCLU and a little taste of Texas. What we need to do now is we need to check out the weather forecast, and it's South Central Bank who brings you this WCLU weather update.
Put some muscle in your money. South Central Bank has unveiled a big new 18-month certificate of deposit that lets your money earn 2.25% APY. Wow, you heard right. It's 2.25% APY. And you can open yours today.
Degrees now at WCLU. And by the way, this weather update is brought to you as a service of South Central Bank. Let me go out and read the rain gauge, and I can do that in 60 seconds, and I'll give you the number.
We're all familiar with the man Benjamin Franklin. Ben Franklin was considered one of our country's founding fathers. The story is told of him that back when he lived in Philadelphia, he recognized the need for street lights. Now, this is something that you and I take for granted these days, but on Franklin Street there were no lights. So what he did was he quietly took action. One day he erected a post in front of his home and had a lantern on top. At dusk, he lit the lantern, but said nothing about it. After 3 or 4 nights, a neighbor followed suit, then another, and then another. Soon the whole street was lighted, and it spread across town. Franklin's example set a simple but effective precedent. It sent a powerful message. Matthew 5:16 says, "Let your light shine before others, that they can see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven." This has been Bart Warren for the South Green Street Church of Christ.
All right, it's exactly 1/10. 1/10 of an inch of rain. Fell pretty fast. But nonetheless, that's where we are right now. 0.10, that will go up. And we're at 7:12. I got myself behind, but we got have a lot of really good things, a lot of good local things to talk about, and we're going to barrel ahead, coming back to play trivia.
I can't wait to get my tax.
Going around the world and I've been looking for revival, 'cause what I see it's critical for all of our survival. People turning on each other, love is put on.
99, Roger.
Hello.
That'll be 349.07. Sir, I can't take that, and that's only about $120 anyway.
But the Magic Man pays 3 times face value at Glasgow Coin and Jewelry. Watch this.
We can make that happen.
Top dollar guaranteed.
Not to be confused with Magic Mike.
TJ Regional Health offers a vast array of medical services in our community. The TJ Health Pavilion is home to over 35 family and specialty physicians, outpatient services center, the TJ Urgent Care, and the TJ Pavilion Pharmacy. The TJ Health Cave City Clinic is a walk-in medical care facility providing care 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Stop by and visit one of our locations today.
Joseph Wyatt. Joseph is having a birthday, we just learned, on Saturday, and it had a very proud mama-in-law to call up and wish Joseph Wyatt a happy birthday for tomorrow. I think we are to the point where we can play trivia. And, of course, Long John's A&W All-American Foods. You got a big weekend coming up right here. You got folks who are going to be getting together. You got a family that just loves a good cheeseburger. Well, they've got the deal for you at Long John's. Listen up. Long John Silver's A&W All-American Foods in Glasgow has a huge deal for a limited time. Listen up. Not 1, but 2 double cheeseburgers for $6. Now, these are two 1/3 pound double cheeseburgers for $6. What a deal. You can't find anything like that except at Long John's A&W on the Happy Valley Road in Glasgow. Two double cheeseburgers, 1/3 pound, $6. Wow. Long John's. Okay. Give me that thinking cap. Get it nice and tight. We're going to ask the trivia question for today. 651-9149, 800-956-1023. If you can answer this question, you get to go to Long John's A&W and have a fish and more dinner. All right, here we go. 651-9149, 800-956-1023. Kentucky history today. Yeah, we've had so many exciting things going on. We haven't asked a good Kentucky history question here in a little bit, but today I'm going to do that. Okay, we're going back to the Revolutionary War. Yes, Kentucky was around in the Revolutionary War. In fact, I want to know the name of the fort that was built about a year before the end of the Civil War. I mean, the Revolutionary War. This fort was built in the then state capital of Lexington. Yes, there was Revolutionary War activity around here in Kentucky, and the state capital at the time was Lexington, and there was a big fort built up there to kind of build a fortress around the state capital. Trivia.
Fort Taylor?
No, it's not right. Trivia.
Fort Dix?
No, it's not right. Going back to, let's see. I don't have my notes over here, but it was about a year before the end of the Civil War. I think it was 1775. Trivia.
Fort Boonsboro?
No, it's not right. It's not too far from there, though. Trivia.
Would it be Bryan Station?
Yes, it would. And who is this speaking?
It's Peggy Edwards.
Hey, Peggy Edwards. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Henry?
Doing real good. Now, of course, you know a lot about Kentucky history. And,
I don't know about that.
Well, but, it's Bryan Station. We think of, the name Bryan Station to most of us means a high school.
Right,
and,
right.
Some good athletic teams, and it's a big high school. When I was doing the research for today, Peggy, it's like, I think just the number of athletes they have is like 1,700.
Oh, my goodness.
In Bryan Station. But nonetheless, we're not worried about that. We're going back to the day. It was Bryan Station. That was the fort that was built in very close there, actually just a little bit to the north of Lexington. And it's certainly, I'm sure there's a lot of history markers, things of that nature around about that.
Right. We saw it somewhere, I guess, when Bruce and I were up there. I don't know. I thought, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I wasn't for sure.
That was some good savvy there thinking. All right, Peggy, how about a fish and more dinner?
Oh, that's wonderful.
Can you handle that? I know I can.
I can handle it, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for, you were just, y'all were traveling and you were paying attention.
Well, thank you, Henry.
Have a good day, Peggy.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's Peggy Edwards, and Peggy is observant enough to know that the fort built up near the then state capital, Lexington, was Bryan Station. We'll play Monday. You never know when we'll play something that is, or ask a question that is right up your alley. Come on back and join us.
CBS News Update. Thousands erupted in chants of no more guns at vigils in South Florida, where there's 17 people killed, more than 1 dozen wounded at a high school this week.
It's time to say enough. This is enough.
And we are finding out more about the shooting itself.
I'm Peter King in Parkland, Florida. The timeline released by the Sheriff's Department has an Uber driver dropping off alleged gunman Nicholas Cruz at the school. Cruz going inside, starting to shoot in the first floor with several classrooms there, then the second and third floor, dropping his gun and backpack and running off.
A group called the Republic of Florida says Cruz was a member. The Anti-Defamation League's Orrin Siegel.
What they want is to create a white ethno-state. They want to separate whites from everybody else, and they believe that they are a white civil rights movement organization.
CBS News Update. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
This is WCLU Glasgow, WCLU FM Unfordville, W253BN Glasgow. Services of Royce Radio Incorporated.
I'm Jared Pursley. And I'm Daniel Bird. As recent history tells us, disasters can happen. It's impossible to prepare for everything, but it is possible to prepare for what happens next. And that's where we come in. At ISU Pettigo-Lessenberry Insurance Agency, we can provide you with many options as an independent agency. And it's our job to make sure you know about all the what-ifs so that your policy has you prepared for what happens next. So just ask us. We'd be honored that you did. Just give us a call at 651-8837. We're ISU Pettigo-Lessenberry Insurance Agency, growing with a proud community since 1902.
America Saves Week is February 26th through March 3rd. The People's Bank is a proud participant in the American Saves program. We want to help you start saving by offering a 14-month certificate of deposit. The time period is February the 9th through March 2nd, 2018, earning 2.00 annual percentage yield with only a $500 minimum opening deposit. Stop by our office today to learn more about America Saves Week. The People's Bank, working for you.
Member FDIC, Housing Lender, annual percentage yield effective February 9th through March 2nd, 2018. Substantial penalty for early withdrawal. Availability under city offers, special products, discounts, coupons, no special on the rates applied. Limited time offer, rates subject to change.
60 degrees at WCLU. The live and local morning show continues with our next check of local news. In the newsroom, News Director Angela Briggs. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Henry. If you or your family are part of the Barron County Schools family, you may have heard rumors yesterday about things that were going on at school. I spoke with Superintendent Bo Matthews, who certainly acknowledged that in light of recent events, everyone across the country is experiencing a heightened level of anxiety when it comes to school safety. Matthews says the rapid spread of misinformation on social media had prompted the school to clarify the situation.
Felt like we needed to try to get ahead of what was taking place because the story just began to change and evolve. And what this stems from is yesterday afternoon we did have a student that made a comment about bullying and guns in conversation. And today at school that student wanted to apologize for making those comments and understanding that the sensitivity of that subject matter was very uneasy right now, given what's happened at the high school in Florida and also in Marshall County. So that communication caused others that didn't even know what he was referring to. It caused communication to other students, to parents. That led to some calls at the central office about a mass exodus from our high school and middle school, and we immediately checked into that, and we'd only had 4 students signed out at the high school at that time and 4 from the middle school, which was a fairly typical day.
And what about the rumors that law enforcement was at the high school?
That's an everyday occurrence, so that was a bit misconstrued. They were not there in response to any critical threat that had been made to anyone. Actually, we had conversation early this morning. It was to meet with staff, to be seen, and to reassure folks that we are paying attention to events that are happening in Kentucky and across the nation. And school safety is an ongoing process, but we have great partners. So we tried to dispel that, and then we had one more that we had a caller call into our central office and inquire why our Trojan Academy was on lockdown, which it was not. That was misinformation that was out there in social media. So
trainings for not only active shooters, but for a laundry list of different scenarios has been an ongoing practice for years, according to Barron County Deputy and now School Resource Officer Mike Houchins.
Since I've been with the Sheriff's Department, we've trained in schools, and the school system has our office involved in their emergency response information plans, and they take our recommendations, and do include several other agencies, local fire departments, emergency management, Glasgow Police Department, the Kentucky State Police. All these folks combined has had some kind of input and try to collaborate as much as we can to provide that safe environment.
Now, while they may not make the headlines, these practices are constantly being evaluated to ensure they're doing all they can for school safety. Now, when it comes to the specifics, Houchins says it's those details you really don't want to share to give anyone a blueprint.
every situation is different, so your response may differ in certain ways. But you don't want people knowing your blueprint and how you're going to deploy at any point. We work with the administrators with the school system, the central office, and they're aware of the plans and what we do. And we communicate with them through training, tabletop exercises to kind of get them aware and familiar with what they could expect from us.
Whether we like it or not, we certainly live in the age of social media where any post can get clicked, liked, and shared in a very short amount of time and reach a ridiculous amount of people. I asked Matthews if it was frustrating to try to battle misinformation on social media, considering how fast it can spread.
It does, and we're in some ways we are at the mercy of social media, but again, that's a part of our culture this day and time, and we would just ask that folks communicate their concerns directly to school administrators so that they can follow the proper channels to investigate, and also local law enforcement. Also want to use this as an opportunity to point people towards the Stop Tip line, which is available on our district website, and we use that information. That is a tool where people can get things to us for us to work on, and I just want to commend our faculty and staff for continuing to be vigilant, to look for warning signs, and again, be a part of the conversation that helps make us all feel safer in our workplace and in the place where we go to learn every day.
I asked Bo Matthews point blank if he felt Barron County schools were safe.
I think we have a very safe high school, middle school, all of our elementary schools, but we are a work in progress. I know that there are improvements. There's lots of conversation about options that people would like to see that actually are not available to us because of the laws that we have in Kentucky, and we spend a lot of time explaining that to our stakeholders, but we'll certainly open to that when the laws would allow things such as, weapons being allowed to be in the school environment. Right now, the only thing that's permissible is for those that are law enforcement officials to have that type of defensive option that in our schools right now. That's uncharted territory for us, but it's not an option right now. We'll have that conversation if and when it is permissible. But then we also are continuing to have discussion about our procedures, infrastructure, equipment upgrades, magnetic locks on doors, ways to monitor doors. Yes, we've had conversations about metal detectors, wands, how those work and are effective in some situations, but not necessarily like what took place in Parkland, Florida yesterday.
Currently, it is against Kentucky law for anyone who is not a member of law enforcement to carry a weapon inside a school. Now, when it comes to metal detectors, would they work? Those in support say they would keep weapons, including firearms, out of schools. Those opposed say it could create a bottleneck at the school's entrance and an opportunity for any would-be attacker to target a large group of students all at once. Even so, what about other school entrances? What about school parking lots, stadiums and ball fields, and school buses? Others have discussed the possibility of arming teachers or others with guns to patrol the school hallways. Those that support that idea say it will add an additional safety measure to students. Those opposed say that without the extensive training, more guns means more opportunity for those guns to get in the hands of students. What happens if a student overpowers a teacher and takes the gun? Without the proper training and years of experience, what happens when a situation may be misread and a student is needlessly killed? Will the guns stay inside the school, in the parking lot? Will they meet drivers as they pull in the school every morning? How far out do you go? Now, while work can certainly be done to make any school as safe as possible, there is no way to make any school or any other building anywhere that acts 100% safe. 7:29 a.m. on this finally Friday morning, an unseasonably warm 60 degrees.
Terry Hagan at Bailey Gibson Buick GMC is doing some heavy name dropping and some heavy price dropping.
I've got The Envision Buick midsize SUV, 18% off. On a $40,000 vehicle, you're down around $32,000, so that's huge. And I've also got some Acadias that have got 15% off. Normally we don't have that much on those, but it's really good this month. They've really stepping up to the plate trying to get people good bargains. I've got supplier pricing on my GMC Crew Cab Sierra SLTs, my Yukons, and my Yukon XL. That's huge too. That saves you a ton of money. I've got Buick LaCrosses right now that have up to $6,000 off on those. And I've got Buick Regals that have up to $7,000 off. And we're ready to make a deal with you. Let's sit down, let's talk. I'm going to get you the best deal. I need to move some merchandise.
Corner of Happy Valley Road and Lexington Drive. That's where all the prices are falling. At Bailey Gibson Buick GMC.
From the Kentucky News Network, I'm Ed Huckleberry. The Kentucky House votes to limit how much money outside attorneys can earn when they are hired by the state. The bill passed over the objection of Democrats who say the fee cap would diminish the Attorney General's ability to pursue big settlements against corporations. The bill's sponsor says fee limits would help ensure as much money as possible from any settlement goes to people hurt by a defendant's actions. Kentucky Congressman John Yarmuth sends out a strong tweet about gun control in the wake of the shootings at a Florida school and President Trump's remarks.
The silence that comes out of people like President Trump, Speaker Ryan, Senator McConnell, virtually every Republican who's in a position to actually initiate some action is just the silence is deafening.
Yarmuth is an outspoken critic of the NRA and says there's no doubt the NRA is in control of the Republican Party. A Madison County couple now charged with murder for the injuries that led to the death of their 2-year-old child. State police were alerted to a possible abuse when the child was brought to the UK hospital. The child died Wednesday. Charged with murder are Sierra Clements and her boyfriend, William Butler. The founder of the Creation Museum in northern Kentucky will appear at an Oklahoma university after all.
Creation Museum founder Ken Ham and the University of Central Oklahoma announced that the event will happen March 5th as planned. UCO's student body president said he had felt bullied during a meeting with LGBTQ students and supporters who object to Ham's appearance because of things he has said about women and gay people. One of those students said no one was bullied and that the group objected to student fees paying for the event. Ham had criticized the cancellation of his appearance, saying it was a denial of his right to free speech. I'm Suzanne Duval.
And I'm Ed Huckleberry.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
Would you like to choose when you pay your electric bill? With EPB iPay, you can. iPay allows you to draft money into your electric account online or at our office. The myusage.com website lets you keep track of how much electricity you're using and lets you know your current balance. When your account's getting low, you can get reminders to add more money to your electric account by text or email. With iPay, there's no due date, no late fees. Sign up for iPay at the EPB office at 100 Mallory Drive.
BR Tire. We're always on call and we answer the call. We know that's what keeps our loyal customers coming back season after season, year after year. With so many vying for your business, improving our service is not just a good practice, it's a necessity.
From our easy-to-navigate website to our easy-to-deal-with service department, we work hard to make it easy for you to choose us. No one keeps you rolling like BR Tire on Lovers Lane in Bowling Green and West Main Street in Glasgow.
Growth begins with an idea. At the People's Bank, that idea is to give you the banking service you deserve. We carry out that idea in everything we do. In fact, it's become our motto, working for you. As that idea continues to grow, let us work for you at our new location, 1300 West Main Street, opening this summer. Let us must be the place where your ideas begin, where you get the banking you deserve. Come grow with us. The People's Bank, working for you.
Member FDIC.
Has some thoughts on the subject of what the rain is going to do for us this weekend.
Front on the move, falling temperatures today with a little rain around this morning. Some gusty winds out of the southwest will shift around to the northwest as the chillier air comes in. The rain will taper off to showers, so if you're not in the rain yet, you will be. Falling temperatures to near 40 by sunset with a northwest breeze around. Tonight, some clouds, colder 34, but that's still above average by 3. Rain comes back tomorrow and a chilly 43. Sunshine returns on Sunday, highs low 60s, back into the 70s early next week. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, the Weather Channel on WCLU, your home for local.
Yeah, kind of hard to know how to dress these days, certainly. I think you're just going to have to make sure you got a few things clean. Looking at the WCLU constant coverage and studio radar screen, pretty good area of shower activity making its way through Kentucky and crossing over into northern Tennessee. We have had about 0.12 of an inch of rain. 0.12 is what we've had here since the rain began just after 6 o'clock. Temperature is continuing to drop. Actually, since I got to the radio station this morning, temperature has dropped 12 degrees. We are at 56 degrees this morning at WCLU, so be aware that the cold front is affecting us, as evidenced by the increased rain and the lower temperature. 7:36, we'll come right back and check sports from overnight.
It's a new year full of
Files Englander.
Do you drop your change in the bottom of your purse? Did you know that loose change could help someone struggling to pay their electric bill? The Glasgow EPB has partnered with Community Relief for a new roundup program. By agreeing to have your EPB bill rounded to the next highest dollar, the change will be provided to Community Relief to help the less fortunate here in our community. Your spare pennies can make a huge difference for those struggling to pay for their vital electricity. If you're interested in the program, please call the Glasgow EPB at 651-8341.
Glasgow Prescription Center is the culmination of my husband's professional career. When he took over GPC, he didn't want to be just good. He'd already done that. He wanted to be great. And I think his patients would agree that he's done just that. Could he get by with a smaller staff? Sure. The gift shop, the flower shop, delivery people, a brand new facility, none of those things are required to have a pharmacy. But that's why it's not just a good pharmacy, it's a great one. I'm really excited to see what Robert is going to do next because I know he's going to put his heart into it.
The Glasgow EPB is on Facebook and Twitter. Be the first to know when the EPB makes improvements such as new channels or new services. Wondering what's going on during an outage? The EPB provides constantly updated information that you can receive via Twitter on your cell phone. Plus, learn great new tips to lower your bill. On Facebook, just search for Glasgow Electric Plant Board and click the like button at the top right. On Twitter, search for the Glasgow EPB, then follow us and have updates linked to your cell phone. The Glasgow EPB, bringing you the future fast.
Who? It was Glasgow 76, Franklin Simpson 46, Clinton County 65, Barron County 58, Caverna 100, Metcalfe County 67, Monroe County 57, Warren East 46, and Logan County over Greenwood 69 to 56. In the girls' action from last night, it was Glasgow 59, Franklin Simpson 19. Barron County over Clinton County, 51 to 44. Metcalfe County down to Caverna, 61 to 53. Warren East over Monroe County, 60 to 55. Davis County over Warren Central, 36 to 29. And South Warren ousted Hopkinsville, 74 to 44. It's the final night of the high school basketball regular season tonight. In girl-boy doubleheaders, Hart County hosts Adair County, Edmondson County visits Greenwood, and Metcalfe County entertains Washington County. In boys action, Warren Central plays at LaRue County, and South Warren welcomes Russellville In the girls' contest, Warren Central goes to Russellville. Of course, tonight, following action of area high school teams, you can tune in at 9 o'clock on WCLU 1490 and on WCLU Light 102.3 FM. You'll be able to tune in and hear the high school scoreboard show as Rick Shaw and guests will talk about wrapping up the regular season in high school basketball, getting ready for the tournament season. And that's tonight, starting at 9 o'clock.
PBI Bank is becoming Limestone Bank. To celebrate with us, visit 1006 West Main Street in Glasgow during the week of February 12th and submit a free prize entry form to win a Bison cooler valued at $329. Then join our Glasgow banking team in WCLU on Tuesday, February 20th from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for a live remote with prizes, refreshments, and more. Call 270-651-3543 to learn more or visit pbibank.com. PBI Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS ID number 4500016. No relationship, account, or purchase is required to enter drawing. See sweepstakes details for more information.
Be the future face of Pedigo Lessenberry. Through expert analysis, we've confirmed their potential. With intense training, we've prepared them for any occurrence. We've taken their strengths and made them stronger. Now it's time to see what they're made of. Presenting the future face of ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance.
Hello, I'm Jared Pursley.
And I'm Daniel Bird.
And we're more than prepared to serve you here at ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance.
Growing with a proud community since 1902.
At PBI Bank, we pride ourselves on providing great customer service with a hometown feel. We invite you to come in and meet our friendly staff who can help you apply for a mortgage, apply for an ag loan, open an account, or help with any other banking service. Trust PBI Bank to be your banking partner for personal or business accounts. Come visit or call us today. We are a Kentucky-based community bank serving the Commonwealth for more than a century. Stop in or visit online at pbibank.com to learn more about what we can offer you.
Middle name. Let me get over here. I got to make sure I got, I got to double check a couple of things here and make sure that I get everything in here. Hold on here just a second. I got birthdays stuck somewhere. Birthdays today, it's Jean Baston, who is celebrating. Dale Smith, happy birthday to you. Sarah Beth Gray. Emily England is 32. Gay Wampler. Amber Mesker. Tara Frazier Lair has a birthday today. Sharon Buckley. Charlie Jackson. Dorothy Harris. Roger Houchins. We have twins Terry Mercer and Sherry Hagan, twin sisters, celebrating on the 16th day of February. Now, on the Saturday list, I got to get the gong out here because I owe a 70 gong this morning. The big 7-0 on Saturday for Arliss David Irvin. Arliss David Irvin, 70 tomorrow. Joseph Wyatt has a birthday. We also have, the birthday of Wanda Garrett tomorrow. And we have we also have a birthday tomorrow for Danny Button. Now, on Sunday, we have Ernie Runyon celebrating a birthday. All right? Now, 651-914-956-1023. Okay. I'm getting notes here. I got texts coming everywhere, and I want to be sure that I get those texts read so I can share them with you.
Good morning, friends. I've heard it said that a person is in charge of his or her own happiness. Once a friend of mine was checking out of a local store, and the clerk said, "Have a good day, sir. And if you don't, it's probably your own fault." Abraham Lincoln is supposed to have said, "A man is just about as happy as he makes up his mind to be." I suppose there's some truth to be found in all those statements. However, I would add this, that there's a great deal of difference in happiness and joy. Happiness may be to a great deal dependent on circumstances, people, and things that affect our lives in either a negative or a positive way. On the other hand, Paul says at Philippians 4:4, "Rejoice in the Lord always." Notice that this rejoicing always is based upon being in the Lord. While bad circumstances may be a thief of earthly happiness, nothing can rob me of the joy of being in Christ, for the salvation found there is not dependent upon people, things, or circumstances, either good or bad. This must be understood. If I'm a disciple of Jesus, saved by the grace of God, no matter what happens, God is still reigning in heaven. Jesus is alive. He's at his right hand. The Bible is still true. The Holy Spirit still dwells in me, and I am still saved to the uttermost, and nothing can rob me of that joy. This is Danny Wyatt for the Refuge Church of Christ.
Yes, 7:45 now at WCLU, and I'm really tickled to have on the air a good gentleman right here who is one of the new sponsors here at WCLU, who also has a great story to tell. I'm talking about Anthony Craig down at Heritage Barbershop. Hey, Anthony, how you doing?
Morning. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, sir. It's 56 degrees, and the temperature is going down, and I know that you guys are absolutely tickled to death. I say you guys and girls down at Heritage, because Heritage 76 Barbershop is an amazing place. It'll blow you away when you walk in with how nice it is, plus the service you get and the services you provide are pretty neat down there at Heritage. You want to talk about that a little bit, Anthony, and tell me, I think you got like a new website, you got some stuff going on down there, sir?
Yeah, we're launching a new website, and we'll put a commercial out with you all.
Mm-hmm.
And I've cut hair for over 36 years, and this is by far the nicest shop I've ever been a part of.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a beautiful place. It's right down there. It's, I know the folks have seen the sign, love the barber pole out front, but it's just up the street about 10 steps from the Plaza Theater.
It's not even 10 steps. It's about 4 steps.
Yeah, well,
right,
I mean, depends on how wide you walk. But
I'm tall.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, I know that you've been cutting hair for 36 years, and I know that you're tickled to be a part of something that, some things can change and some things do change, but some folks just don't want people messing with the way that they get their hair taken care of, the way that it's styled, the person that does it. But they like to have people who are, I guess, modern and always bringing the latest options to the table. And that's kind of what you all do down there at Heritage 76 Barbershop.
Yeah, there's no telling, we've got 4 barbers and 3 beauticians. We all work within the same building, so we can fulfill any need that you've got once you step inside those doors.
Yeah, and one of the things I think is cool, Anthony, is because you are able to take care of parents who come in there, because you got those nice blocks up in the corner for the little ones.
Yeah, the kids seem to they're drawn to those blocks.
Yeah.
It gives the parents a break, and they can actually sit down and enjoy and relax and get a haircut.
I tell you what, Henry, he probably can't hear this, but the part I like about it is, I can go in there, and they've got this big screen on the wall in there.
Yeah, I'm here. Hang on a second. Mark's talking. Hang on a second, Anthony. Go ahead, Mark.
They've always got, like ESPN, got some sports scores going up, and you can grab an energy drink down there. They've got a cooler with energy drinks, and it's just a cool place where you go and just shoot a little fat.
Well, it's obviously a really nice place in there. You want to go in there and look around and check it out. And of course, what are the hours down there, Anthony? Because I know you guys stick around late.
We do. We open at 8, and then David Wells, the owner, comes in usually between 10:30 and 11, and he'll work till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night sometimes. So we cover all your needs as far as being able to come in after you get off work.
Yeah.
You call to make an appointment. We've always got the TV on a sports show when you come in, so you can enjoy a basketball game or catch the latest news, whichever.
Paul Feinbaum or...
Yeah. We do listen to a lot of Paul Feinbaum.
Yeah, I figure you do.
Well, you know, it helps me out, Henry, is they're open on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. We want to be sure and plug that. Mark is reminding our listeners, Anthony, that you're open on Saturdays. Now, so here's 3 things right off of the bat that shows how accommodating Heritage 76 Barbershop wants to be, in the fact that you've got stuff up there for the kids to play with, because sometimes you pick them up after school. If you're going to get a haircut, you got to do it now, and you got to get there. And so it's nice to have that option. Secondly, you guys are up there staying late in the evening to get the job done, knowing that everybody can't come 9 to 5. And then thirdly, you're open on Saturdays. Now, if there's I've never heard of such accommodation for customers that you guys are putting out there, Anthony.
Yeah, we're only closed on Sunday. We're open Saturday between 8 and 2.
Yeah.
And we've also not just have our blocks, but we've got 2 drawers full of toys for the kids that can come in and play around and let their parents get a haircut. And most of the time, the kids will leave with a toy in their pocket. So.
Well, you know, you got to do what's required.
Exactly.
And I know you want folks to come up there and see you. 36 years of experience?
I've got 36 years. Yeah. David's got over 20, so you're looking at 50 just between the 2 of us.
Yeah. Well, y'all aren't. What would do they have apprentices in barbering?
We do. We've actually got Cody York is an apprentice right now. He just graduated barber school in Bowling Green, passed his board.
Yeah.
And he serves a 6-month apprenticeship, and then he'll go back up and take another test and be a full-fledged barber.
Well, let's go ahead and give them the facts one more time here, Anthony Craig, at the Heritage 76 Barbershop, just off of the square, just up from the Plaza Theater. That's the easiest. I'm sure you got a street number, but nobody going to pay attention to that. They're going to find that barber pole and come in.
Yeah, come to the barber pole with the walk-ins welcome sign that's always flapping in the wind.
And that's Heritage 76, and y'all are going to be there today. And like I say, somebody's going to be there till like 9 or 8, 7, 8, 9 o'clock or whatever. Then, of course, going to be in there tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Starting at 8 o'clock until 2, and you're going to accommodate your customers. What a neat concept. Not David. I'm thinking about David Wells. Anthony, I appreciate you calling in here today and letting us talk about the all-new Heritage 76.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Anything else I forgot to ask you about?
I got a question for you.
Not that I'm aware of, other than Cody is inclined to. He's right out of barber school, and if you need a good facial shave, he can hook you up.
Yeah, that would be good. Now, Mark, you got another question? Turn that mic up.
I was just going to say, the new guy is a whiz kid with a straight razor. He is super sharp. I went down there to catch some footage of him and got to witness a little bit of action there. And man, I mean, I've never been able to do it myself, but that guy, I mean, he's a young guy, and he's pretty good with it.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask him, if I could make an appointment if we needed to. Do you guys take appointments?
What about appointments, Anthony?
We work. David works strictly by appointment.
Okay.
Cody and I are here for the walk-in business, and I do some appointments, but with the amount of people that we've got in here, we can usually fulfill most of the needs. Now, all of the girls work by appointments. So if you give us a call, you can ask for any of the girls that work here or any of us, and we'll accommodate anything that you need.
All right. Now, so one last thing. If we're going to give you a call, what number do we dial?
629-6299.
629-6299. That's easy to remember. Thank you there, Anthony Craig, for joining us today. Say hello to all of your partners down there, and I know you'll be seeing folks coming up there because this is a new way to go about making sure you have a good place for barber services, okay?
All right.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too.
7:53 at WCLU and 56 degrees, and it's always nice to have good folks on the air with us right here.
Yeah, they're top notch down there. I'm actually going to go give the new guy a try this afternoon.
Yeah, well,
on the haircut part.
And I know you'll You'll look good as always.
Oh, you can't mess my hair up.
Just calm it down, right?
Yeah, maybe hit it down with a broom or something.
7:54 WCLU. Tomorrow, a big day at the South Central Kentucky Cultural Center. It is a program on Black History Month, and we are proud to have one of our local heroes that we enjoy having conversation with, who's also going to be on the program tomorrow. It is Joe Trigg. Earlier, Angela talked with Joe about it.
Joe Trigg, you guys coming up this Saturday.
Yes, ma'am.
You are going to be at the Cultural Center.
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me a little bit, give me a sneak peek into what you guys are going to be talking about.
I can't speak for the other gentleman from Bowling Green who was speaking, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking about our experiences while we were in the service.
Mm-hmm. And now for the folks that may have only known you from the farmer's market, you have got your experience in the military from 78 to 07. You were a chief master sergeant. Basically, you were like the super VIP special, personnel protective services, dignitaries, presidents. I mean, you were a big deal.
I was probably something. I don't know quite a big deal, but I was something.
You can brag on yourself a little bit.
Well, I would say that one of the things I'm going to talk about is my career was kind of like Forrest Gump. So if you can relate to Forrest Gump, you'll probably be able to relate to what I'm going to be talking about.
You sure you wanted to make that comparison?
Yeah, I was. Life was a box of chocolates there for a bit.
Tell me something that, looking back on your military experience, you saw a lot of changes in the military over your time, and you were in the Air Force that entire time. Do you think that pretty much, do you think that it makes a difference what branch of the service you're in as far as any individual's experience?
I still think the service is, any branch of the service can provide anyone with an opportunity to do better. What you make out of your time in the service is on you as an individual. I will say that looking back at the way I grew up and coming from here in Glasgow, and then the things I was able to see and experience while I was in the service, I never would have done those things if I would have graduated from school and then just stuck to wherever it was that I would have been.
Do you think that as far as you being an African American, do you see that experience? I mean, did you see changes as far as the way that maybe racism was addressed in the military?
Unfortunately, when I first went into service back in 78, there were a larger number of African Americans in the military. My job was kind of unique, and I spent a lot of time with the Army and Navy. And one of the things I'll probably definitely have to hit on Saturday is that maybe 25% of the service may have been African Americans. And today, I think it's getting closer to maybe 17% and more. Not quite like the demographics of the country, but there's still not as many as it was. And I hear from my colleagues that are still there that the number of Latinos or Latino Americans that are in the service is way up. And they were going to send me some information, and I'll compile all that together and talk about that briefly.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think numbers are going down?
Well, I believe it's a twofold effect. I believe a lot of blacks are disillusioned by the thought of going into the service. And I believe probably institutionally, the service is probably trying to lean towards participation in the military representing the true demographics of the U.S. And that's needed for two reasons. Number one, you don't want, if you have another war, you don't want a Vietnam where you have a majority that is poor and underserved being your primary numbers in the service. Then when those numbers die, there's less of a connection. So you want it, if possible, and I don't think it is possible for the demographics of the U.S. to reflect military participation, but it would be nice. Then that way it's more active. World War II, World War I, Barron County, all these counties were represented probably 100% of the young men from these counties went to war. So if one died or got injured, it was more, you could relate to it easier versus more towards Vietnam. It was somebody not yours.
Right.
The more we step outside our bubble, the easier it is for us to relate and understand different aspects of life.
But it's comfy inside the bubble.
It's comfy as long as you're in the bubble, but when something busts that bubble, that's when it's uncomfortable, and then reality hits, and a lot of folks are not prepared for it.
So if folks want to come down there and talk to you or hear more about you, that's this Saturday at the Cultural Center.
Yes, and I will hopefully we will talk about my experiences in the military, and it's been over for almost 3 decades that I was in the service. And
who's your favorite president that you worked for?
It is. I've said it before, and it's always been interesting. We started our group started supporting the president up under President Carter back in '78 during his time frame, and then in '80 it transitioned over to President Ronald Reagan. And since I was stationed in California, it was more there. But the person that I had the most respect for, and that was because it seemed like was the most down to earth, was Miss Barbara Bush.
Really?
Yes.
Out of all the people?
Out of all the ones. And I mean, that's dignitaries from every country and a lot of countries, and presidents, kings, and whatever. But she was the one.
Joe Trigg and Barbara Bush. You heard it right here, WCLU, folks. Thank you so much, Joe. We'll see you at the Cultural Center tomorrow.
And you should get that on your calendar. If things going to start at 1 o'clock, and it will be very fascinating indeed to be a part of, be in the crowd of those folks who are going to be there at the Cultural Center tomorrow for Black History Month. And certainly appreciate Joe and Donzel for being involved in it in order to make sure that there's a really good reason to be down there tomorrow. So that's what I have for you. 8:01 at WCLU. Coming right back, we're going to check in with the live and local 8 o'clock morning edition here on WCLU. Thank you for joining us. We're at 56 degrees. Still light rain in the forecast. The radar screen is showing still some light rain in the neighborhood, so we'll be dealing with that off and on all throughout the day.